John, Mike, Ian, and Mark. And I need a station in North Fort Myers that was right before Ian. Can you give me your call again, please?
Yeah, it's KB4AR, Angela, North Fort Myers.
KB4AR, is that right? Some reason I'm having trouble with that. But anywho, let me make another check here. See if there's any other check-ins for the Loggerhead Net. Call now.
Kilo 4, Romeo Alpha Bravo, Rick at Fort Myers.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I thought maybe you were still on the contest there, Rick. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I was hoping that KJ4NKL would be on here and an important announcement for this week, but maybe he'll come on. Maybe you're running a little late. So Ham, start us off if you would, please, and thanks for the check there. K4HKA, WA4WDV, go ahead.
WA4WDB, this is K4HKA. Haven't been doing much on the on HF. Did play around with an ancient piece of radio equipment made by Clow Brango in 1939. It's an RF oscillator signal generator, 100 kilohertz at 30 megs. Went for $35 in 1939. Other than that, I've been involved mostly all week in a baseball card project, and then the fun really begins next week with the root canal. Back to net, K4HKA.
Oh my goodness, you had to mention that. We feel your pain. Okay, on the ancient radio equipment there. Yeah, that's, I got beat by a couple of years there on that piece of equipment. But, yeah, that, you have been busy, Ham. I was trying to think if there was something I had for you. I forgot to mention that I did have HF activity this week. The bands were up and down. It was goofy. Yeah, some really bad days and some breakthroughs in the evening. And Ian, somebody this afternoon was talking on there. They said there was a flare on the sun at 12:30 today that caused a disruption. Because it was up and down this afternoon. They were saying that's what it was. So maybe you can confirm that. Well, let's see, what else have I done? I had a guy in Moscow the other night. I stayed up late, and he was coming in real good. And so I finally, good English and good signal, and I asked him, what did you think of the phone call between Putin and Trump? And he wouldn't comment on that. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't ask him that. But anyway, I did work that Moscow station. It was really good signal. But my favorite contact for the week was, wait for it, it was Cypress Island, the island of Cyprus. I never, to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever worked Cyprus before, and I haven't heard him on any time recently. But I might be wrong. Maybe some of you guys have heard him, but anyway, that was the first, I think, for me. And then, of course, there was the annuals. There was the W9 IMS, the Motor Speedway special event was on. We worked at the Fleet Week. They were going. Talked to them for a while, because my son had been in that a few times. We talked about that. And Rick, I was waiting to get your CW contacts report for the contest this weekend. And then the last one was Melbourne, Australia. That's pretty far south in Australia. Okay, sorry, and I had to mention that. So let's continue down the list. W6JDH, WA4WDV. John, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Alex. And that's November, not W. It's November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel. Yeah, the bands have been up and down all week. Actually, there was a few days that 6 meters was open, but it's only stayed open for some decent contacts for about 45 minutes. I've been in and out doing POTA, not as much this past week. Have a lot going on, but no, just looking forward. Tonight is the first POTA net on the FMARC Linked Repeater System at 2000 hours, and that'll be every other Sunday, starting first and third Sundays of the month. Back to Alex. Thank you, Net Control. November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel.
N6JDH. My apologies. I have written down N6JDH, and I know it's N6JDH, but I think I was looking at my contact for the week, and I had W's all over the place, so my apologies. I know who you are, John. Okay, that's good on the POTA thing at 2000. I'm going to have to dial that one up. Very interesting. I think that's all I had. I did work some POTA stations, John, in your honor this week. Always like to work those POTAs. Give the guys some contacts. So I worked about 4 or 5 of them this week. They must have been out there in the mosquitoes or something. I don't know. It was around dusk. KF6FJD, Mike, WA4WDV Europe. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Good morning to the group. Happy Sunday. There was a lot going on today, huh? We had the Indy 500 and a lot of different sports on television. I was expecting a little rain, but it never showed up, at least not in these parts of Cape Coral. I was on 15 meters, a couple days ago. Yeah, it was decent, but HF is kind of going to crapper a little bit, right? But it'll come back around. And, just enjoying this Sunday evening and enjoying these people here on the net. So back to you, KF6FJD.
Good, Mike. That we didn't get any rain either out here on the coast, but we lost the power a few times. Let's see, it must have been like 6:15 or something was going on, bouncing on and off, and I think they had a lightning storm someplace. Must have affected the power company close by, but can't seem to find any rain. Okay, swinging back up to North Fort Myers. Oh boy, I'm doing bad tonight. I need your AR. I need your call sign and name again. I'm really sorry. Can you give me all that again, please? Go ahead.
Oh, sure. Good evening to the net. This is KB4AR. It's Angela. And very good. I haven't been on in a few days. My wife and I were up in camp and up having doctor's appointments. So once I got back, I was able to get on FTA. In fact, I'm working FTA right now on 17 meters. And it's not too bad. 12 absolutely died here earlier a couple hours ago. So that's about it. Just working more FTA and picked up another, I think I paid a 5 countries this week. So all in all, pretty good, even though it was a limited time on. So I'll put it back to net, KB4AR.
Okay, good. KB4AR, WA4WDV. By the way, thanks for coming in tonight and joining us, giving us the info there. Yeah, everybody seems to be in agreement. The bands are not great. A bit disappointed. But maybe Ian's got some good news with the 6-meter band. I know he's been waiting for that now for several weeks to open up. KO4EFS, WA4WDV. Go ahead.
EFS, yeah, the 52525 thing was today, and I monitored all day, called out a bunch of times, never heard a thing. Literally just dead in the water. So that was with my 5-element beam shooting up. I tried shooting it towards the northeast and the Midwest, and nothing. So there you go. As far as the solar stuff, I'm putting up a post right now. It'll be up. Matter of fact, I go ahead and just hit post. It just went up on my YouTube page. I just put a post up. A surprise solar flare, an X-flare eruption from growing sunspot 4098 happened earlier today, and it was not an expected flare. We were not expecting this one. And it's a rapidly developing sunspot, and the sun is just really active right now. So even though they weren't expecting it, we ended up getting something. So that's what we ended up with. It's calming down now. The K is back down to 1, and the solar flux is at 133, which is not too bad. I'd like to see that higher, but it is what it is. That's what I got there. Break for time. I wanted to just let everybody know we are live on YouTube, and I have added some screens and features to the YouTube channel. During this net now, you not only get to see a live shot of the Sanibel Causeway, but now you can see the images coming in live on 14.230 on SSTV, and you can also see all the FT8 activity coming in on 14.074 on 20 meters, along with solar conditions, aircraft tracking, and I right now have 6 storm chasers up out of Texas that are chasing a big supercell in Texas right now, plus propagation. So it's a really interesting watch there on YouTube. And let's see, the swap shop was fun. It was good to see everybody out there. And I'm going to talk about how I got my FT8 working and all that in the second round. But I'm back up on FT8. I've been working it. Got a bunch of stuff in Europe and the Middle East earlier, so it was good. I'll pass it to the second round. KO4, EFS.
Okay, you're full of good info in KO4 EFS, and so I guess those guys were right. You backed them up. That was on the Collins net. I was on there for a while, but about 4 o'clock, and they were talking about that flare. So I guess it was true. You verified it. Okay, Mark, thanks for your patience. We got almost doubled there. NB1U, WA4WDV. Go ahead, Mark.
This is Mark, NB1U. Evening all. Sitting back reading the mail. And I put a little bit in the WPX CW this week, and I got 150 Qs. And the money band, mostly Friday night, the money band was 20 meters. And I did go down to 15 for a bit and picked off some Pacific mults, and then down to 40, and that was pretty good. But it was pretty good. I worked at Asiatic Russia and America Samoa and a country of Georgia, and it was good. Like I said, 150 Qs, so that's it. Not much else to report on HF, just set my FT450 Yaesu back up in the shack here on strictly FT8. Let me drop it. So right now just monitoring 20 on it. I've got a little hidden stealth antenna under my roof shingles. It's kind of noisy, but you know, it's got a nice flat SWR on 20 and 40, so it's good enough to you know, to take this radio and just monitor. So that's what I'm up to. Anyway, that's all I got for this week. I didn't make it to the stop swap. I went to a 50th golden anniversary party, so it was fun. That's it. Back to net. NB1U, Mark.
B1U, WA4WDV. Well, that sounds very festive, Mark. First of all, congrats on all those Q cells. We're going to have to see what Rick came up with, because he's next in line here. But before I let you go, one comment, and then I got a question for you, Mark. The comment is, I was really amazed that the band, the single side band, were bad, really bad, and like 15, you know, nothing on there, and it was sometimes very little on 20 meters. But when it went over to the CW portion of the band, man, you know, signals all over the place, just loaded, and that just shows you that CW can get through when single side band can't. CW is always a last resort, isn't it? And then the question I had was, Mark, when you went in these contests, are you head copying, or do you have a software program? Go ahead.
copy. I have no decoding. I don't have any radios that will do decoding or software or anything like that. So it's strictly brain to fingers.
Oh, wow, very good. Boy, to last through that many QSOs, boy, I don't know how you can do it. I'd be really tired. Rick, we're going to find out what happened to you in the CW. K4RAB, WA4WDV. Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, it's K4RAB. Oh, I got 115 so far. It's wrapping up here in just a few minutes, but I think I've worked every Hungarian station out there. That's what I got, mostly Europe, a few islands and stuff like that. Yeah, I am running decoders here. I wish I could. I can copy in my head some of the time, but I'll get there. But that's just practice. But I'll get there sooner or later. But had a good time. Didn't really push too hard, but like I said, wrapping it up right now. I think I've worked every Hungarian station. But anyway, maybe next year. So back to you, K4RAB.
Maybe next year. Listen, that is really good, and no shame on the code decoder. No shame on that at all. And it looks like you and Mark are a virtual tie. It's close enough for QSOs, number of QSOs. Yeah, that's really good. Good representation of the Loggerhead Net, you guys. Appreciate that. So now I'm going to pause and see if there's any late check-ins for the Loggerhead Net. So if you're a late check-in, this is your time. Call now. Well, nothing heard. As I say, Mike KJ4NKL thought he might be up tonight, but I guess he's not. Something's going on. He's not available. So, alrighty. Top of the list, Ham. K4HKA. WA4WDV. Go ahead.
WA4WDV, this is K4HKA. I don't have much more to add. I really appreciate the conversation of the Loggerhead, and I've got something on the stove, so I'll say 73, K4HKA.
All right, Ham. Go get that off the stove. We don't want you burning the place down when you're suing the Loggerhead Net or something here. Yeah, thanks for showing up, Ham, and good luck on the. We'll get your dental report next week. Yeah, I remember those things. So let's see. We're going to go on to N6JDH WA4WDV. John, go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for taking the net tonight. Not much going on. Getting ready to watch the sunset here over the Gulf of Mexico. I'm sure you can see it there from Sanibel. But just looking forward to this week and getting some things done. And real quickly, they moved John up to Port Charlotte, and he'll be there for quite a while. So other than nothing as far as an update on him or anything like that, but he's up in Port Charlotte. This is November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel, back to net control.
6JDH WA4WDV. Thanks for that. I was just getting ready to ask about him, if you had any new information. So you read my mind. Mind propagation was good. You read my mind on that, John. Yeah, if we take a look at the sunset. Have you ever seen the flash at the sunset? Have you ever seen the green flash?
Yes, I have, but it happens over water, and usually I can only see it when I'm on the beach. Usually if I'm like inland or something, you don't see it. But yeah, I have. I've actually caught it in a photograph too. Back to net.
That was my next question. Did you ever take a picture of it, since you said you saw it? Yeah, very good. I haven't seen it. My son up in Destin lives on the water, and they look for just about every night they're looking out the window for it, so they've seen it. But I haven't seen it. So hats off to you on that, John, and for taking the picture. All right, KF6, FJD, WA4WDV. Mike, go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, the sunset is really nice. I think before, in a few minutes, I think I'm going to go outside and take the drone out there and take some nice, lovely video. And I love flying my drone. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if I like it more than radio or radio more than flying the drone, but they're both a lot of fun. Other than that, I don't have anything more to add to this, to the net. So I'll pass it back to you and sit back and listen to it. This is KF6 FJD.
Okay, Mike, make yourself comfortable there. We'll go through the rest of the list here. Yeah, I like the drone pictures of on QRZ that people have of their antenna farms. You know, that they've gone up videos. Some of them flying all around these big towers that they have on the property. Some of these are amazing. An amount of money has been invested in these antennas. And anyway, I enjoy, speaking of drones, looking at those aerial pictures of the setup some people have for antennas. You've undoubtedly have seen them. Okay, let's see, who are we up to here? KB4AR, yeah, that's it, WA4WDV, go ahead.
Well, really not much more to add here. I'm just sitting here plugging away on FTA and making a few more contacts before I shut this thing off for in a few minutes. I got to put the chickens up in the coop and call it a night. So I'll say something to Steve. Good to talk, everyone. That's KB4AR. Back to Ned.
All right, thanks a lot, KB4AR. Try to show up next weekend, too, because I would like you to be in here every Sunday night. We can use your comments and what you're doing. We'd appreciate it. We've got to find out what as they call it, working conditions are at your shack there. So if you come back next week, be prepared. I'd like to see what you got over there. Okay, Ian, this is part 2 for you. Second round, KO4EFS. Go ahead.
KO4EFS. Yeah, let me get my list up here so I don't miss anything. Yeah, I wanted to just mention I was kind of disappointed that they started a new net and they put it on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock while we're still doing this net. So I was a little disappointed about that, but so many other times available. Anyway, let's see. I got my FT8 working, and how I did it was I'm on my 756 Pro 2, the big radio, and it's my big ICOM. And how I got it working was DX Engineering makes a plug that plugs into the microphone plug in the front. I didn't realize that. I've been trying to port out in the back all this time, and I've bought 2 different cabling setups, and neither one of them have worked for rig control or audio in or out. And so finally now I can come out the speaker jack, the headphone jack, and into the signal link. And then I bought the cable that comes out of the microphone plug and goes into the signal link. And it's working great. I've been making anybody I call answers me right back. So I'm really happy with it. I'm picking up 40 plus stations every 15 seconds when it goes around. So absolutely amazing. And like I said, the transmit's better than the receive. So because I got a high noise floor. Finally, the last thing, I've ordered another computer, another one of those thin clients. When it gets here, I'm going to be putting up a new feed, and it's going to show people FT8 in 3 different towns. I'm going to have like Utah, DC, and Fort Myers, and you'll be able to see what stations each of those towns is picking up. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be like 3 different waterfalls and 3 different screens and level control. It's going to be really neat. I can't wait till you guys see it. So again, I'm doing everything I can to entice people to become ham radio operators, and the best way to do it is to put what we do on a platform that they do. And so that's what I'm doing. So there you go. All right, I guess that's about it. It's good hearing from everybody. KO4EFS73.
Not so fast, my friends. I got something for you here. First of all, yeah, congrats on getting the FTA and the equipment working there. Well done on that. The first question I have is, Joseph came over here and picked up a lot of stuff at Mike's place, and some of that stuff were those two big boat anchors, that Hammerland and the other, well, Hallicrafters, was it? What are you guys going to do with that stuff? I don't want it, but I just wondered. And there were some capacitor kits with it. You know where that's going to end up? Go ahead.
No, I don't. I know that Joseph's toying with getting them going himself, which I think would be great. I've got a little room here that he can set them up, and I'm hoping that he will get them going, that we can get them going here. I would love to have some old radios going here that we could do some call out on and stuff. So I'm hoping that's what we're going to do. But the deal I made, I'm not selling any of it. I'm either giving it away or I'm using it for the stuff that Joseph and I are doing here with the Freedom Network. Or most of it I'm going to probably be gifting to other hams to get them on HF bands. So, but that's all I know so far on those. Is I right now I think Joseph wants to get them going himself.
Okay, he should be able to do that because they if I remember, they were not that far off from working capability. In fact, they may have been working capability, but you know, as I say, they got the capacitor kits, so he can start with that, and I think they're going to be fine. I think that's a good idea. A good project for him, working on those. The other thing was, I'm doing my part to get the young hams going. I've got I'm Elmering a young fellow, I think I mentioned it last week or the week before, up in North Carolina. It's a student of mine, and he just passed his, he had a technician and just passed the general, working on the extra for next week. But anyway, I sent him Mike sent him some equipment to help him out with, and he's real enthusiastic, real excited about the whole hobby. So I'm doing my part, Ian. I just wanted you to know that. Okay, so I'm through bragging, and I'm going to go on to Mark, NB1U, WA4WDV. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, okay, Alex. Yeah, I don't really have too much to add. I don't know if anybody on frequency happened to go to the Hamvention either last weekend or the prior one. I forget which one, but just a lot of new technology. Flex got a new Aurora 500-watt transceiver that looks pretty interesting. So it's pricey from what I gather, but 500-watt transceiver like they had back in the day, right? I had an old Yaesu 560, which was 500 watts PEP input or something like that. But I think it was on my bench as much as my test bench as it was on my operating bench. That thing wasn't very reliable. That's for sure. Anyway, that's it. So 7-3 all around, and you have a great week. NB1U.
Hey, NB1U. Mark, did you say you brought one of those Auroras? Go ahead.
Oh no. No, I'm just intrigued by the technology. Just some new stuff that was new rigs introduced at Hamvention. Okay,
because I talked about that last week, and in reference to the Hamvention, and I mentioned the price tag on it. So okay, I'm glad. Yeah, it's interesting. I like that. You just plug it into the wall. It runs on 120, You don't have to have an external power supply, and it gives you 500 watts, you know, without having to buy any kind of an amplifier. So, yeah, it was really cool. I was pretty neat. I saw that. Anyway, I talked about it last week. I don't know if you were here or not. On we go to Rick. Rick, you may become our tail gunner here tonight, but we'll find out. K4RAB, WA4WDV. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the contest is over. I was just getting the final numbers, getting everything. I had 115. I guess that's not the biggest in the world, but some of those guys, I think I had one that had 6,000 contacts. Unbelievable. But congrats to them. I don't think I could sit in front of a radio that long or that much. But anyway, fantastic. But anyway, so anyway, I like to play with it. It's like I said, I've got other things going on too on the same weekend. So anyway, like I said, I can't sit. Some guys can sit in front of a radio for 48 hours solid. Like I say, hats off to them. But anyhow, so I guess that's it for me. So we've got the radio club meeting this week. So this is K4REB, back to net.
4REB, WA4WDV. Well, I'll tell you, Rick, you got 115 more contacts than I did, so my hat's off to you. Well, I'm wondering if that 6,000 contacts, do you think that was a club? Was that a group effort, or do you really think that was a single person over?
Well, that had to be a club to do something that. I hadn't thought about that, but he gave me a number. What was the number? Well, one of them gave me 558.86. One of them gave me 62.67. So over in Italy. So there must be some of those clubs. There's another one, 48.46. That's an awful lot of contacts. I don't think one person could do all that.
Okay. I thought, well, there's a lot of people that come in with some big numbers because they like to put something in a frame and have it up on the wall, right? So, and then they put it on their QRZ page, a picture of it. So, no problem. 115, you participated, as we say. Well done. Well done. Let me pause, see if you were, in fact, the tail gunner. Are there any late, super late check-ins that really want to be a tail gunner tonight? Call now. Oh, no stations heard, so I guess that may be it. We could slide over to the 8 o'clock net that Ian wants to get over to, so I think I'll dial that one up myself. So anybody wants to use the frequency, feel free to use it. It's open for any normal amateur radio use, and we'll see you all next weekend. That was a good one tonight. Yeah, hope everybody shows up next week as we had here tonight. Continue the story. WA4WDV, clearing the Loggerhead Net for tonight. 73, guys.
What you want to do in POTA? I know you haven't started yet, but is it something that you're very interested in or just a little interested in? Please go ahead.
Stay with us. This is the POTA Net, the FMARC POTA Net in progress.
Knowledge would be my key word for this. I don't know that much about it. I haven't even seen it. So I would have to, experience it and see if it's something that I'd be interested in doing moving forward. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Ed. I know you have the gear for it. It would just be a matter of the logging software and maybe more of a portable HF antenna. But your 7100 is a great radio for it. And plus, you're going to be traveling, so that's nice to be able to hit other parks. But thank you for that. Next up will be Connie, Kilo Quebec 4, Juliet X-Ray, Mike. Connie?
Good evening, John and everyone. This is Kilo Quebec Fort Juliet X-ray Mike. As far as POTA, right now I'm not set up for it. What I would like to start doing, and I am, is hunting. And I have to get my new PC set up with the software to where I can find out and see where everybody is. But that's going to be my next project, is getting my PC set up so that I can get it and learn to do what I need to do to be a hunter.
Copy that, Connie. You can go to the POTA website, and you can download, it'll be right on the front of it, the POTA app. And you create your own account. That's vital to be a hunter or an activator. And you can start hunting. That's basically how I got started until I went out in the field. And it breaks them down. It tells you who the activators are. You can look at them all, or you can look at them by band. So you start in the bands that are, you're interested in. Most people do flock to 20, but it's nice getting the work bands open. But that's how you can start by hunting, is go ahead and get the software. It's free. It's not really a software. It's a very small thing. It's an active website. So you don't need any hard drive space to do that. Back to Connie.
Well, I'm glad to know that, and that's one of my projects this week, is to get set up with that and get in there and take a look at it and see what, like you said, set it up the way I need it. And I think it'd be real interesting and be a lot of fun. And my first contact on HF was a POTA in Havana, Cuba. So that's where I want to get into and have a lot of fun with it, and back to the net.
Well, I understand. The nice thing about POTA as hunters, we just keep a log. We don't have to upload it. The activators are the ones that upload the log, so you're free to I would definitely get the app on your phone or on your tablet, and that way you can see who's active during the day. Plus, it's going to give you an idea of whether or not the bands are open, especially when you see on 10 meters, 5-7 to California, and you see where your activator maybe is in New York. So it's definitely a way. I usually check every morning to see if the bands are open, or if they're good, or if they're down, what bands are good, what bands are down. But the POTA app is free, and that's what you can use to hunt, and of course you need it to activate.
Well, that's good to know. I'm looking forward to getting into it because I want to increase my knowledge. I want to learn how to do different things since I can't get out there and take the heat. I can't handle it. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you. And it's a real pleasure to be on the net tonight. Congratulations on getting it started.
Thank you, Connie. Up next is KO4Q8N. Lynn, you've got the mic.
Thank you, Jonathan. I would like some definitions defined. What is hunting? What is pounce? And then activate, because I've not done any of this. Back to you, Jonathan.
Well, as I was telling Connie, you need the app to hunt, but you need it to activate. You can search the dial without the app while you're hunting and listen for POTA stations, but it sort of makes it a lot easier when you see that they've spotted and on what frequency and what band, and then you can work them. Now, they're going to take your call sign, and you might just say, as an example, 5-3 Foxtrot Lima. You're telling them you're in Florida, and they're going to log you in because they're activators, and then they upload the ADF file. So my personal experience is the app is beneficial both hunting and activating. And again, it's free, and it's just a great resource to be able to test your equipment, to see how the bands are, You know, it's a short QSO. It's not an open discussion with an activator. You're going to exchange the necessary information, and then the activator is going to move on to somebody else. Back to you.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and check out the software.
Yeah, copy that. And it is vital to have that as an activator. But, I mean, then you're going to need a logging device and logging software. You know, there's HAM-RS, there's Smart Logger, there's Ham2K Polo, just depending on what you're using. And it's very easy at that point to activate. But I would strongly suggest everybody gets the app, looks and see what the activators are doing, and then hunt those people. You're going to get credit for it. You're going to earn awards for hunting. You know, it's all in what you put into it. Okay, next up, back to okay, so hold on a minute. Are there any late check-ins to the POTA information net? Come now.
Yeah, good evening, John. This is KM4 LPW Kilo Mike 4 Lima Papa Whiskey, and we have
KQ4SYA Kathy.
Yeah, John. The Bonita repeater just dropped out completely, so we missed the beginning, and I don't know what's going on with that repeater down there. So we're trying when it's a little further away, so we'll see how our signal report is. Back to the net.
Okay, I have Kilo Mike 4 Lima Papa Whiskey. Is that correct, Tom?
Roger, Roger.
And it's Kilo Quebec 4, and I didn't catch the rest for Kathy.
Kilo Quebec 4 Sierra Yankee Alpha. Sierra Yankee Alpha.
I got it. Thank you for that. Tom, what we're basically talking about is at what level are you at POTA? What are you interested in it? What intrigues you? We're talking about being a hunter and an activator, and for some people, getting set up as a hunter, you know, getting the app so they can find the activators so they don't just sit and spin the dial. But tell us about your level and experience with POTA.
Comment?
A whiskey, Tom.
Comment?
Go ahead, comment.
I think you had another station stepped on there that's trying to get in on your list.
K4SJC repeater.
Okay, stand by, everybody. Is there any additional check-ins for the FMARC POTA net? Come now.
Kilo Quebec 4 Papa Whiskey Lima, bud.
Okay, we picked up Kilo Quebec 4 Papa Whiskey Lima Bud and Kilo Oscar 4 Echo Foxtrot Sierra Ian, correct? Is that it? Okay, first round, we'll go back to Tom, Kilo Mike 4 Lima Papa Whiskey. Tom, tell us about what you've done in POTA and what you'd like to do.
We've done several activations with the club over the last several years. Kathy and I, we got out by ourselves, actually, to Korshan this past week. We picked up some new ham sticks, and we made some contacts, I guess, all over the country, and which pretty much the first time on our own, and without the club assistance, and just to see how it was like. We did pick up the apps that you were talking about this week. It helps do the spotting and also
to find others that we can possibly do park to park, which is kind of fun to do. So we hope to get out and do more. We've got a newer battery, a 50 amp hour lithium-ion battery, which only used about 4% during the whole last outing. Okay, we'll break for the repeater and we'll get back to net.
Kilo Mike 4, Lima Papa Whiskey. Tom, you can go ahead.
No, I think that was about it. We'll get back to the net and let some others get on. We're just really curious what happened to the repeater down in Bonita. It was great during the Loggerhead Net, and when you all came on, zap.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Well, up next is Kilo Quebec 4 Sierra Yankee Alpha. Kathy, you're up.
This is KQ4SYA. Yes, John, Tom and I are getting into the POTA, and except for the bugs that like to find me and bite me and leave welts, it's fun getting out, and I was able to actually do a POTA from our driveway just to check out all the ham sticks that we have and reach somebody in Ohio. That's all I've got. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Kathy. I'm going to give you a little hint for if you go up and you activate Babcock. When you pick one of those pavilions, little pavilions with a picnic table that are on the left side as you go around the lake, make sure you pick one that your feet don't touch the ground. That way you won't get any fire ants. That's what I try to do, is I pick the ones that are higher, because the fire ants are all over the place. And if your feet aren't on the ground, you're not going to get bit. So there's a little bit of advice for Babcock.
KM4LPW. Yeah, we've tried to avoid that. We didn't know also what could crawl out of the the water there. And I remember we did one out on it was the middle school out on Summerlin, and it was only a couple hundred feet away where a lady got attacked by an alligator, and we were doing one down south of Naples and east of Naples, way out in the Golden Gate area. I did see a few bear tracks. The areas we choose down here are pretty interesting. KM4LPW, back to net.
Thank you for the KM4LPW. Up next is KQ4 Papa Whiskey Lima. Bud, tell us about what you like and dislike about POTA. Go ahead.
Yeah, John, well, I think I like just about everything about it except for having bugs. But got into it because I wanted to experiment with my radios and with my antenna. Led me into, experiment with different kind of radios, different setups, and that sort of thing. It
Kilo Quebec 4 Papa Whiskey Lima. Are you coming in on the Florida Gulf Coast repeater?
I'm on 225.
You're coming in on the 225 into the Cape right now?
Yes, sir.
Can you try another repeater real quick? Because you're a lot of static. You're not making it into the Cape very well. We are on the linked repeater system. See if you can go to the Florida Gulf Coast one, unless Tom says that one was giving him problems.
Okay, will do. I'll give it back to you. You guys make contact and I'll do some tunes up there.
I'm sorry, I was not able to copy him through the static. Kilo Mike 4, Lima Papa Whiskey, is he in on that, down there at the Florida Gulf Coast repeater?
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that one's linked or not. We're actually coming from the Estero, San Carlos area direct into the Cape repeater, which would be channel 9 on the memory channel list. Actually, we're on channel 5. We're on channel 5 right now, going into Lehigh Medical Center, but we are able to reach you. The first transmission we had was on channel 9, which is the Cape repeater 147.225. Back to you.
Copy that. I don't think the Florida Gulf Coast one is linked, but yeah, I could barely copy. Moving on, we have Kilo Oscar 4 Echo Foxtrot Sierra. Ian, you're up.
KO4 EFS. Yeah, I was happy to hear of a new net that's up, and I'm glad to be here. And I don't have a lot to add. I've been hunting for quite a while now, and I've also done some activations. I like to do activations when I'm up at my cabin. The bugs are just bad down here, and I don't like the heat, so I do them down here some in the winter, but I really just I do most of my activations up on vacation up in the mountains. There's a lot of threefers up there, twofers and threefers, where you actually get credit for 2 or 3 different park activations on the same 10 contacts, so it's pretty cool. And first thing I did when I got up there was met up with a guy was working the Notley Dam park, and he emailed me a cheat sheet with all the twofers and threefers on it for the 5-county area there. So there's a lot of stuff like that out there. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, and I'll be standing by listening. Thanks for taking the net. KO4 EFS.
K4SJC repeater.
Yeah, copy that, Ian. I know that there's a lot of twofers and threefers and all that. The most I've ever hunted another park, and he had 7 park numbers, and that was in Washington, D.C. It was a park to park. I was at Babcock, and he was in D.C., and he had 7 parks in one activation, and he had one incredible pile up waiting to get to him. But he does it quite a bit up there. He goes to the different parks, and then they do have the trails that come through, so it does count for multiples. But down here, you're right. That we do have a twofer, and it's out off of 29. And I know John used to go there quite a bit, and I know where it is. There's a twofer right there, and that's about the only one I know of about in the immediate area.
Yeah, it's just like a kind of an added bonus when you're out there, and I found it. I get in contact with other people that are working the same parks up there, and they tend to have really good information. My first antenna that I started using up there, I literally took a spool of wire, and I bought a $40 little black Ballon box off of Amazon, and I'm using that today right now on FT8. So it works great. And I just literally go out, and I've got the other end of it on a fishing pole, and I just string it up. Easy peasy.
Yeah, copy that. Thank you for that information. Before we go to the top of the list, I want to check and see if we have any additional check-ins. Do we have any additional check-ins to the FMARC Parks on the Air information net? Come now.
Kilo 4 Romeo Alpha Bravo, Rick at Fort Myers on the 220 repeater.
Okay, was there another one? I caught the Kilo 4 Romeo Alpha Bravo, but was there someone else at the beginning of that? Negative. Kilo 4 Romeo Alpha Bravo, tell us about what you enjoy and what you enjoy and don't like about POTA. Probably the bugs, but give us your input and your experience on POTA. Back to Kilo 4 Romeo Alpha Bravo.
This is K4REB. Hopefully I'm not too loud. I'm on the 220 machine and this rig is a little bit hot. I'm new to POTA. I've just gotten interested in it. I've been interested in it for some time. It's just something I haven't done yet. I want to start hunting, probably from home. Like Ian said a few minutes ago, it's too hot to get out right now and actually work portable, but maybe in the spring and maybe in the fall and winter and that type of thing I could do that. But the big thing I want to get started is hunting. So back to you, K4RAB.
K4RAB, you also do CW almost exclusively, correct?
I wouldn't say exclusively. I do some phone, but yeah, I kind of like to be able to do it from. There's a good bit of CW. I see a good bit of POTA activity on the CW bands.
Yeah, copy that. On the POTA, if you go to the POTA website, you can download their app, and you can see all the activators there by mode also, and there's always a lot of CW. And as you would know, when the bands are really bad, there's a lot of FT8 and that. But the POTA app will help you find CW, so you can hunt them also. I don't know if you already had the app on your logging device or your computer or your phone. Back to you.
No, I don't. I don't have the app, so that shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be a big problem to remedy, so I'll look on the website and see if I can pull that down. It's K4REB, back to net.
Thanks for that. Okay, now we'll go back to the top of the list. And Larry, I want you to tell us about some of your POTA gear. And we'll talk on a budget and with no budget, because as we both know, radios and antennas can get expensive, and yet you can also do them on a budget. So with that, back to N1NQU, Larry.
This is N1NQU, and man, there's a lot of stuff there. So just a couple things. The Southern repeater, which is the Bonita 147285, that is up and operating. The FGC repeater is not a linked repeater. That is a county repeater, and that is standalone. So let's see. Well, a few things. As John said, make it a little bit easier and see where the actual people are, and then see if you can hear them. If you are an activator, then you do have to keep a log, and then you have to upload it. Now, the nice thing is that if I'm activating, that I can upload the log, and it's just basically I log it, export it to an ADIF, upload it to the POTA site, which is basically drag it and drop it. I can actually upload that same log to QRZ. Same thing, just go to QRZ, pull it over and drop it where I need to drop it, and it'll upload all my contacts. And about 2/3 of the people actually confirm on QRZ, including, trying to remember I got the islands last week. I wasn't even activating, just hunted a couple and got them. Let me break for the repeater.
Welcome to the Fort Myers Amateur Radio Club.
So the other nice thing is that with POTA and the way I got into it is that being in a condo, I cannot operate HF from my QTH, so I have to actually go out and operate portable. And then I found out that there were folks that were going out there and operating portable, and they were just doing it in parks. And started off hunting and, found those folks and just kind of fell into it. So as far as my activations, what I will do is, if during the summer, during rainy season, I've driven to a park and just activated from within the car. I've done park benches, if it was nicer out. And generally, if we go camping and we're in a numbered park, then what I'll do is I'll set up outside and I'll activate, from the campsite, from the RV. So, and what I typically do is I don't do what they call park and bark, which is where I find a frequency and I put my call sign out there and have everybody hunt me. Typically when I activate, what I'll do is I'll hunt other stations and I'll do them as park-to-park contacts. And if you look on the POTA website, you get credit for doing park-to-parks. So my total count is lower, but my park-to-park numbers are higher. And let me break again. So the nice thing about doing parks on the air is, I would say, use what you have and what you like. You can use, let's see, 710s are popular, 7300s. There are folks that will use 705s or KX2s or 3s, doing QRP. 991s are very popular. FT891s. A lot of my activations, I would use an FT891. So you can, it runs the whole, gamut as far as the equipment you can use. As far as antennas, I've been doing portable for a while, so especially operating from campsites. The campsites are not necessarily set up for POTA, so I will have a bunch of different options as far as what antennas I will use. Typically, I will use a chameleon vertical with the 17-foot whip and one radial. And in effect, I'm doing an L dipole. And I have it on a little tripod about 4 or 5 feet, above the ground. But I've also thrown wires over trees.
K4SJC
I've done
repeater.
the Buddy Stick Pro, just whatever I can do with wherever I happen to be. So there's a lot of different stuff there, and I talked quite a long time. So John, I'll turn it back to you and see if you have any questions. N6 JDH N1NQU.
Welcome to the Fort Myers Amateur Radio Club Linked Repeater System.
Thank you for that, Larry. I agree. There are a lot of options. Some people just use a wire. Some a vertical 17-footer. Some I use a delta loop on occasion, depending on the wind. I mean, there's a lot of options, and a lot of it can be done rather inexpensively. Some people adapt a camera tripod to hold the antenna. I mean, some use ground stakes in the ground. It's just, there's a multitude of portable antennas that are available, and you pretty much nailed it with the choices of radios. I did pick up a G90. Zayu or whatever they say at G90, and it does all right. It's a QRP, 20 watts, but it does all right. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. Back to you if you have any additional comments, Larry.
Thanks, Sean. The G90 will work also, and one thing about doing low power is that, even with the G90, if you're only doing 20 watts, it is a lot different if you're running lower power hunting versus activating. Because if you're running low power or QRP and you're trying to hunt, what you're trying to do is get into the pileups, and you might get stepped on, especially if you're at a park. If I'm hunting from a park and I'm trying to I'm already at a disadvantage, and I'm trying to compete with other stations getting into a park, it makes it a bit more challenging. Now, if you're the activator, then everybody is using their antenna and everybody is listening for you. So it definitely makes it a lot easier if you're running lower power. And if you're running lower power, you can use a smaller battery too. And as far as antennas, there's a huge amount of antennas out there. I try to avoid ground stakes. Sometimes it's very difficult to get them in the ground, and if you're in a state park, you run the risk of hitting something if you put a ground stake in. So, as I said, usually I'll just use a little tripod, and up about 3 feet, and actually it's probably more like 4 or 5, and gets my rating point above the ground, but does just fine. And there's a ton of antennas out there. So back to you, John, and want to cue you.
I appreciate that, Larry. One of the things I sort of want to do on this net is I've been talking to a couple, like an app developer for Ham 2K Polo, and he's offered to come in and answer questions for people on his app. It's a free app, and he provides it free. He doesn't charge a dime for it, and he's always enhancing it. So there's also possibly I'm working on somebody from different antenna companies to come in, and also one of the officers for POTA is going to come in and talk a little bit about some of the things they're going to be adding to the hobby, to the POTA hobby in particular. With that, we'll move on to Whiskey 4, Echo Juliet Whiskey. Ed, do you have any questions of Larry or I or anybody, or if you have any comments, go ahead now.
This is Whiskey 4 Echo Juliet Whiskey. No, I'm listening to all of the comments, and this is my first venture into the POTA app. First of all, I had to find it, which I did, and maybe you can take some, baby steps here. And what are the initial steps to start with this hobby, this particular branch of amateur radio? In other words, those of us that are not familiar with it, what are the first steps? Back to you. This is W4EJW, back to N6JDH. W4EJW, well, really, you're going to create an account on the POTA app, and that account will work for you for hunting or activating. Now, if you're hunting, what you can do from your shack, you don't have to log anything. You don't upload anything. So just use the active spots, look at it, and it'll drop down, and you can go across the top of that and select the mode that you want to look at. And generally, you'll just click all bands all the way across, and then you have to look at the specific activator. If you do everything open, you'll have to look at the specific activator and see whether or not what mode he's in, whether it's SWFL or whatever other mode he might be in. And then you can just dial in that activator, and you can try to raise him on the radio. You're going to hear him. If you hear him well, you're going to get in. The closer the ones, it'll also tell you how good the band is. So first step would be to create that account and just maneuver around. There are some great YouTube videos on just the POTA app. It's very, very easy. It's nothing to be intimidated with. Back to you.
All right, we're in split coverage, guys. On the screen, you're watching live tornado coverage out of Texas.
Get into this until the fall.
We're continuing with the POTA net out of Southwest Florida on audio.
Area, but I'll be paying attention. And again, thank everyone for all of their comments. This is W4EJW, back to net.
All right, thank you, Ed. Next up is KQ4JXM, Connie. Connie, were you able to find the Polo app, or not Polo, the POTA app on your computer there in your shack?
Yes, sir, I got it up. I tried to sign in, and it's not taking anything I put in there. I put on a forgot password. They sent me a thing from POTA that I had registered on my other computer, but I haven't got a response back yet, and it won't let me do anything, I guess, maybe till tomorrow or whenever they send me a response back. I emailed back and told them that I couldn't log in. I've tried about 2 or 3 different ways. It won't let me do nothing. Now it won't let me sign up, but I see a lot of stuff on there. The only thing I haven't been able to do is to, I guess after I get registered and all that, is to see where you would set up as a hunter. And right now it's wanting me to sign in under a Cognito account, so I don't know enough about it to, I'm there now where it says spots, activations, docks, and that's where I'm at. So on the POTA app, I see a lot of information on their park numbers and different call signs and different things, but I'm just going to have to wait to see what they do about getting me registered over.
Well, it'll probably be within the hour because they're generally very quick about it. They have a lot of online support through their database there, and they have a lot of people that can check that and get back with you. But as far as setting up as a hunter, you're setting up as both. It's just a hunter is going to hunt the parks that are active, and an activator is going to set up and let the hunters hunt him. And like we said, the activators are the only ones that upload the log. Once you make contact with one of the activators on there, when he submits his log, you're going to get credit for the contact.
Well, that sounds good. I appreciate the information. Like I said, I'm sitting here looking at the parks on their app, and I see an awful lot of stuff on here under active spots, and it's very interesting. But I will get it figured out and start enjoying it.
Okay, Connie, if you have any other questions between now and the next net, feel free to call me. I can talk you through it. No problem. We'll get you up running. Up next is Kilo Oscar 4 Quebec Hotel, November. Lynn, you're up.
Thanks, John. What is it? Can I do something from home, or do I have to go to a park for POTA?
No, you can hunt from home. Generally, I will hunt from home sometimes in the morning, and then when the bands get better in the afternoon, that's when I'll go out and activate. But you hunt the activators, you can do that anytime, because like as the gray line moves across the United States, your signal is going to be better out towards the west. In the early morning, I get pretty good luck getting Europe, but I can get Europe generally any time of the day on 10, 12, 15, and 17 if the bands are good. But there's people even at night that are hunting, like Japan. It's very active. All the countries have parks, and the hunters want to add that park to their list. So, there's DX hunting, too. You'll get credit for different levels of DX stations, DX activators that you've hunted. So, yes, absolutely. Hunt from home. Activate from the park. So it's sort of a nice benefit down here in the summer that you can activate. If you activate in the bugs, you can hunt from home in the air conditioning. So back to you.
K4SJC
Thank
Repeater.
you. That's a great idea. Back to net control.
Okay, moving along. Next up, we have KM4LPW. Tom.
This is KM4LPW. I'm back on the Bonita repeater. It seems to be working okay right now. The ham sticks that we got some, I've got some old ones that I paid about $2 or $3 for at all the swap shops. But these new ones, the Sharks, are pretty cool because what I can do instead of the whip being adjusted by the small Allen screws, which are a pain to do. It will take the whips, the extendable whips that I've got with my buddy sticks, and so they're very, very adaptable. They take the CB mount, which I believe is 3/8 by 24 threads. Anyway, close to that. So enjoyed doing that. So my whips are black, and so therefore I can mark them with a silver-colored magic marker. So that's kind of fun. All right, back to net.
I actually know one of the members of FMARC that almost exclusively activates with a mag mount and a buddy stick on top of his car and moves from park to park. And especially during the rainy season, he'll do it. Or, of course, the bugs, too. But he'll move like to Delnar Wiggins up to Ding Darling, out to Babcock, and he basically sets the radio on the passenger seat, or sometimes moves to the passenger seat so he has more room, and he'll use that buddy stick on a mag mount. Back to you.
Well, right now on the last outing, I put the ICOM 7300 on the dashboard as long as we were in the shade, and did use a single magnet mount, but we just got a brand new tram tri-mount, and the SWRs were almost identical to the single one. So I think we'll be able to move around as long as we keep an eye on going underneath trees and things like that. We should be pretty good.
Yeah, with that single mag mount, I don't know if I'd drive with it, but that tri-mag mount, yeah, you could probably do 100 miles an hour with that one and not worry about it. I do have both, and I find myself, if I'm stationary, I'll just use the single mag, and it works well. I mean, it's enough to get your 10 contacts, because in order to get credit for the park as an activator, you need to make 10 QSOs. And if you get 8, you're not going to get credit for the park. So if you get 10 or more, you've got it. And a lot of people don't realize, but a lot of the activators will hunt before they set up, and just to see how the bands are. So they'll hunt for a little while, and then they'll get 8 hunting, 8 park-to-parks hunting. That way they know they're going to get credit for the activation, and it won't go for one that they was not successful. Back to you.
Okay, John, KM4LPW, back to net.
Copy that. All right, next up is Kilo Quebec 4 Sierra Yankee Alpha. Kathy.
Okay, this is KQ4SYA. Just wanted to say congratulations, John, on starting this new POTA net, and becoming a fun hobby that Tom and I are enjoying. And we have a lot of parks around here to visit. So we'll look forward to the June nets as you have them listed. This is KQ4SYA. Back to net.
Thank you, Kathy. Next up, let's see if we can get Bud in here this time. Maybe last time he had a lot of static, but it's KQ4 Papa Whiskey Lima. Bud, are you on the air?
W8KZT.
Go ahead, W8KZT.
Hey, John. I was listening to Connie talk to you there about what he's seen and him seeing active spots. It seems to me like he's in on the program. Because if I don't get to active spots, you don't see anything. He said he was seeing activity in there. The only thing I can say is if where it says parks on the, it just says at the top it's on the green line and everything says parks on the blank, 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 and then it's supposed to show your call sign. If it doesn't show your call sign, you're really not going to be able to do anything as far as spotting them. But it seems to me like he's where he needs to be. Am I correct, or am I not hearing what right?
Well, in the upper right-hand corner, he should see his call sign that are login. So if he's logged in, then he should be able to view it. But I do believe that even if you don't log in, you can see some of it. I'd have to push back here to the computer and test that out, though. But Connie, KQ4JXM, are you able to see that you're logged in the upper right-hand corner?
This is KQ4JXM. No, I'm not. Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm signed out. Wait, yes, I am logged in. Yes, because it says sign out. So, I see where it says sign out, so I must be logged in. Back to the net.
Yeah, in your upper right-hand corner, Connie, you should see your call sign, and then you can then you're in the net. If it does say sign out, you are in the net. So, or on the POTA app. So you're good to go there. You'll be able to maneuver through the app, and that'll be something we're going to cover with screen sharing on a Zoom meeting. Here, within the next 10 days, we should be having the Zoom meeting set up. So that's something you might want to consider joining, because we'll maneuver through the app. Back to Connie.
Well, that sounds like a good idea, something I'd be very much interested in. Yes, it says I am in. I don't see my call sign anywhere, but it does say I'm there, and it says sign out. So all this will work out. And this is a really good net. I've also learned a lot tonight, and I am going to ask permission to secure. I have something that just popped up on the computer I need to take care of. But it's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to being on the net when it's on again. This is Kilo Quebec 4 Juliet X-Ray Mike, back to the net.
Thank you.
Comment?
Let's go back and try to see if we can get Bud. Bud, KQ4 Papa Whiskey Lima, are you on the air?
K4SJC Repeater.
Yeah, John, I'm on Echolink. What kind of copy you got now? Over.
I copy you loud and clear. Thank you for coming up on Echolink. When you were on earlier, we had a hard time hearing you over the static. Please can you just recap what you said to us earlier? Go ahead.
Yeah, John. First of all, let me tell you that one of the problems we have here was there was a thunder cell right over my house here. It was raining like cats and dogs, and we had a lot of lightning, so I'm not sure if that had an effect or not. I went to Bonita Springs. I've got good receive, a little scratchy, but good receive, but I guess I wasn't making the trip there. Anyway, how's this copy? Is it still okay? Over.
But you're loud and clear into the linked repeater system. We have a thunderstorm off to my north east. It's you can see the lightning up in the cloud top. So we might, if it's moving in our direction, we might be shutting down a little early. But yeah, you're loud and clear.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying before. The things I really like about it, first of all, is getting outdoors with my wife. She loves to get out in these parks, and we can do an activation and spend, some hours doing that. And then I can spend some time with her. We can picnic and, just enjoy the day. So it's sort of a good family thing for she and I. I love experimenting with the different radios. I've just bought a 710, started using it, and used a 7300 prior, and particularly the antennas. I've got a Wolf River coil system I've been using, mostly just a steel Whipple, 20 meters, gets me down the road pretty well. I've done some activations with that, and I do some hunting here at the house. So I'm anxious to do more. It's just a very exciting thing for me in this hobby. Back to you.
Yeah, Bud, you really picked up on it rather quickly, and I mean, I think the key is to hunt first, and then when you want to go out, maybe get somebody. If somebody new wants to go out with one-on-one, I'll be glad to take them out. But I appreciate that. But I appreciate your input. Up next, we have Kilo Oscar 4 Echo Foxtrot Sierra. Ian, go ahead.
KO4 EFS. Yeah, I'm broadcasting this out over YouTube, and that's going pretty good. Also on the screen, I've got FT8. I've got the latest pictures sent out over SSTV and a bunch of different stuff. But also the storm chasers up in Texas. We just had a tornado on the ground up there, and there's 6 storm chasers up there on it, and I'm covering that too. So lots going on there. And yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to add. I've only been doing POTA for about 9 months now, but I love it, and I also like the fact that we have a POTA net now. So I just wanted to thank you for that, and have a great night, everybody. 7-3's KO4 EFS.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you for that. We look forward to you coming back too. We have K4RAB is up next, and then we got W8KZT. So K4RAB, you've got the microphone, sir.
KSK4RAB. Well, not much to add from here. I've just been listening and copying everything that's going on. Like I said, I intend to do more hunting to get started. So that's it for me. So appreciate the net. This is K4RAB back to net.
Good evening. The time is 9 p.m.
Thank you there, Rich. And by the way, I do have one CW QSO on POTA, and the activator was very patient. I was hunting.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to keep this continuing coverage
we'll
up for just a little while longer.
W8KZT. You've got the microphone, sir.
So, hi, John. Hi to everybody on the net. Very interesting listening to everybody. The reason I had jumped in there, I was looking at my POTA on my phone. I've got it on the phone, and I always use it on the phone because I just have it on there. I don't mess with my computer. Thing's a piece of junk. But anyway, I have been on there like Connie was on there and he couldn't see his call sign. I've been on there like that before, where I first initially set it up or turn it on, and it comes up, but my call sign doesn't show on there. But I can at least scroll through and do that. The only thing is you can't spot with it, so you can't tell people what, you know. In other words, confirming your QSO, but you can still thumb through it, and it works out pretty good that way. I'm hoping to maybe do some of the POTAs sometime. I'll probably use my 7300 that I've got here, and I've got a rotatable dipole that I've made out of scrap junk and coils and stuff like that, probably from either an A3S or an A4S Cushcraft that was downed during Ian. And I made that, and got a tripod and 20-foot pole to stick them on, and I put a thrust bearing up about 12 to 15 feet, and I've got guy wires off of it, so I can control that and keep it from blowing over and everything, because it's not extremely light. Plus, that 20-foot pole could be whipped around pretty good. But I've got it's called a Renogy battery that I've got to do on this. It's a 100 amp hour. It should accommodate anything that I need to do for a couple of days. So So that's it for me right now. I'll turn it back to you, John. This is W8KZT.
Thank you, W8KZT. I have been hunted by people that have claimed that they've hooked their radio up to a stop sign for an antenna. So, I mean, whether or not they did it, they didn't send me any pictures of them doing it, but that's what they've claimed. But, I mean, there's a lot of options, both, you know, ungodly expensive or you know, down to a few dollars. And they all seem to work. So I mean, just it's important that what you get, you just learn to use, and that's the key. The nice thing about some of the radios we talked about is the built-in tuner, provided that the SWRs are low enough to fine-tune that a little bit more. But I like getting out there. The heat, the first few years living in Florida, I was miserable. Now I can go for a walk and I don't even sweat. I've gotten acclimated to the heat, but I don't mind going out and doing a POTA activation as long as I'm sitting in the shade. So with that, is there anybody else that has anything? Are there any late check-ins, or does anyone have any additional comments they would like to share?
And when NQU with a comment.
Go ahead, Larry.
So just for the folks that are out there listening and thinking about getting into it, the nice thing about POTA is you can do your own thing. You can hunt if you want. You can hunt from home. You can hunt from wherever. You can do whatever mode you want. I've actually hunted while mobile in the parking lot waiting for my daughter to get out of school. So it's up to you if you want to activate, if you want to, you know, when you activate, if you want to kind of park and bark and let everyone make contacts with you, or if you want to hunt other parks and get park-to-park contacts. Whatever radio you want to use, whatever antenna you want to use. You know, if you want to use a ham stick, you know, they work really well. I've had very successful activations with ham sticks. If you want to use delta loops or, you know, hex beams, whatever you want. It's entirely what you want. If you do decide to activate, you know, the big thing is have fun. I will say my first activation was not successful, and I got to about 6 contacts, and there was a magnetic storm, and it shut down communications for literally hours. There was absolutely nothing. The bands went dead, and I didn't get my first activation. I didn't have a successful activation. And you know something? You don't get demerits or anything else. It's not a big deal. Didn't get a successful activation. I did learn a lot. So just go out, do it, and have fun. John, great inaugural net, and thanks for doing it. I don't know why we haven't had one yet. So back to you, and when NQU.
Okay, thank you, Larry, for those comments, and appreciate you being on the net tonight. Is there anybody else that might have an additional comment? Please come now.
Welcome to the...
This is KM4LP. Getting through to you. We've just gone off the air. We've got thunder and lightning going on right now. We're Echo Link, so checking interesting how we're doing on Echo Link. Back to the net.
KM4LPW, Tom, we have you coming in on Echo Link now. It's a little bit broken up. I don't know why. It could be because of that storm down there. I just saw it. I've been looking at it on radar because it seems like we have quite a few of them to the south, east, and to the northwest or northeast of Cape Coral and Matlacha.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's been a long time since I've done this. I think we shouldn't be broken up now. Looks like I've got solid into the computer. Yeah, we just want to thank you so much for bringing this net about. I think we're going to learn a lot. I think if we get together in small groups so we don't transmit on top of each other like I did to a couple people earlier this week, and I do apologize to them, Bud being one of them. But thank you for that. We're going to learn. One of the things about this net is not about the net, but about POTA. That is, if you become an activator, you're going to be much better as an Aries person, particularly if you're doing emergency transmissions or storm transmissions from shelters and other areas during times of need. Okay, KM4LPW, back to you. Kathy also says good evening.
Welcome to the Fort Myers Amateur Radio Club Linked Repeater System.
Well, thank you both. Thank Kathy for the net, too, coming in on the net. A piece of equipment that I ordered that should be here by Friday is a dual operator that will allow us to have two operators on one radio and one antenna, and they'll each control their own push-to-talk and have their own headset on. And I just thought it might be good for those first-time activators to go out and be able to work as a dual activator, and then eventually they'll be more comfortable working as an activator. Because, I mean, it's a lot at one time. Because not only are you going to have to be talking on the radio, setting up the antenna, but you're also going to have to be logging. And so I thought it would be beneficial to go ahead and order the second operator controls. And they should be here next week, and hopefully we can get them out in the field with some operators, some activators, as I should say, in the next week to 2 weeks. So is there anybody else that has any comments for the net before I close it out? Come now. Okay, with nothing heard, thank you everybody for checking in tonight and supporting the FMARC POTA Information Net. It's always a pleasure for hearing from every one of you. I want you to have a safe and healthy week. We hope that you'll join us again on the next POTA Information Net. This net is now closed and the repeaters are returned to normal amateur operation. This is November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel, and I'll be monitoring 73 Sol.
All right, guys, that concludes both nets. I still got these storm chasers going out here. I may leave this up just for a few more minutes here and see what we get.
KM4LPW. Have a great evening. Give Oshie a big hug.
He wanted to talk tonight, Tom, but I didn't give him the opportunity. You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you later in the week. This is November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel. I'm clear monitoring.
I'm putting in the fire departments. Give me just a second here. I'm putting in the fire departments that are affected by this tornado right now. And I'm just going to continue coverage right here. That's how we roll. This is going to be Haskell and Jones. Haskell and Jones County in Texas. Okay, there's Haskell Volunteer Fire. Let's add feed. It's going to be, we use Broadcastify for our feeds. We use Radar Omega for our radar. We use Flight Tracker 24, Flight Tracker 24, Flight Radar 24. I'm sorry, for our flight tracking. When you see that. See if this is Okay, there's 4 feeds that I've got up, including Haskell Volunteer Howley Fire, Hamlin Volunteer Fire, and Howley Volunteer Fire I've got twice. So let's see if that's a duplicate. I'll put one on the left and one on the right. Switching to left and right ears. And I just have to go here and switch the feed on this. From this to this.
To cool it down before this fire will go out.
Okay, you're now
Hey,
listening
Casey,
to the Farm Mechanics and the Packers.
you ain't got a contact for him, but we'll check that phone if it ain't burned up yet.
It's still there. There's no phone number on it.
We'll do some digging once we get on scene.
Command 1 dispatch. You have a contact for Sojourner?
I'll see what I can find.
I believe the sign said J.Z. Miller lease. If you find something, you can tell them.
Received. Casey, how many trucks do you want Haskell to bring?
Ty's just in that one. We may roll both of them and grab the inductor and some extra foam and some hoses just in case.
Thank you.
Casey, 91's about to head that way.
10-4, sounds good.
Sounds like a rather large fire. They're requesting foam and hose and more manpower. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's weather related.
To 91, be advised you're going to have a lot of water over 6 down south of Roll.
10-4.
Hey Casey, I got a hold of Jason Langford. He's calling the pumper to this well.
Ty, did you say something? I was out of the vehicle.
Medic 1 to Casey.
He's calling the pumper to this well.
10-4. Go ahead, Medic 1.
Is the hospital clear of any tornadoes so they can move the patients back in their rooms?
Yeah, affirmative. All the tornadoes are well south of Haskell.
Received. I'll let them know.
All right, everyone. It sounds like they're starting to wind this down. The tornado warning has been allowed.
94 SO, 70 still on speed at tank fire.
There's currently no tornado warnings active anywhere right now, and so we're going to go ahead and call it. That does it for tonight. We've had quite a bit of different coverage. Please check out our other streams. We've got the Slow Scan Television stream on right now, and also the Frog Cam over on @Carlotta and we also have on the 7.2 stream the darker side of ham radio over on Starship After Dark. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Ian. This is Starship Adventures. Please give us that thumbs up and give us a subscribe. We really appreciate it. It really helps.